Hi, I'm Alexis from Shopify Rebellion, and today I'm going to be guessing your ranks. What is that guy doing? I mean, nice shots, but deadass the Omen is running into a wall. Oh, I like the comms from this breach. She's looking like me out there. His aim is really good, but his movement is throwing me off. I don't know, his movement, he just kind of stands there and is aiming at the ground, but then he sees a person and he just like one taps. I don't know. He just looks a bit unaware, but his aim is really crispy. I don't know. I don't know enough about low ranks to know. I want to say gold, but like this could be like diamond and I don't even know. I don't know. I'm gonna go gold. Okay, I got 50 points. It was plat. I was close. Okay, that was actually insane spray transfer, I'm not gonna lie. Dude, if he TP'd behind the kid shield, that would actually be insane. Okay, not the TP I would have done. No, there's no way. There's legit no way. That guy's gonna get flamed in the group chat for literally 18 years after what I just witnessed. Okay, his aim was clean and he had the Omen ult KJ ult like technology, which I feel like low ranks don't really have. Oh man, I kind of want to go Ascendant again. Low key. Oh, I got 50 points. It was diamond. I was close. Noob King 154. Okay, no, this guy's actually insane. Bye. Okay, this is actually like a Radiant clip. Wait, it looks like he's on a Smurf though. He has no knife skin. Hang on, I need to rewatch that. Oh, this is old too. Okay, I think I'm gonna guess Immortal, but I might get scammed. Like, people are talking too. But his name is Noob King 154. Like, that doesn't sound like a Radiant name. Okay, I got 50 points again. It was Ascendant. This is GC Deagle. This is GC Deagle if I've ever seen one. Hang on, I need to replay that. GC Deagle is like, every GC player is just insane with the Deagle. Like, he just has GC Deagle like aura. You know what I mean? Okay, I think I'm gonna guess Diamond. I feel like I'm getting thrown off by the fact that I didn't see him use a rifle. And also he's on Omen and has D-Gun pissed around. That's slightly concerning, so I think I'm gonna go Diamond. Okay, I got 0 points. He was gold. Okay, I like this scan. I'm already biased. I'm biased towards Radiant right now.
You fought well. Spike planted.
Okay, nice flick. Mom Finder 48. What a username. Oh wow. Okay, these were some nice shots. Again, I feel like everyone looked a bit confused. So I kind of want to go silver. It was silver. Best day of my life. Okay, wow, 1% of people guessed Radiant on that. That's... I have no comment. Legit no comment. Clean shots so far, okay. Nice movement. Oh, okay, alright. I'm not even, his aim is very good, but this situation where they're just staring at him, not killing him, it's making me rethink things. I think I want to go bronze. But his aim's good though. Maybe I'll go silver. I think I'm gonna go silver again. It was silver. Wow, so I got points on every single one, so I'm kind of go. Honestly, historically, I think I'm pretty bad at guessing ranks, but I feel like I did pretty good that time. But thank you guys so much for supporting Shopify, and see you all in GC.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Verizon VCT Game Changers. Guys, be honest. If Alexis had to guess your rank,
What?
What? What was the question, Wyatt? What was the question? Tell me what the question was. You don't know what the question was.
Yeah, I do. Radiant. You know what I'm saying? What?
That's still not a question, brother.
No. That was the answer.
Oh,
That was the
okay,
answer.
okay. Bye.
you think Alexis would think
know
you're a
what
radiant
question.
player. Okay. Wyatt, so humble.
Maybe immortal. You know? Maybe. If it wasn't my finest work, immortal.
Look,
3.
I know what Alexis would answer because I've played against her a couple times and definitely poo-pooed on me. So yeah, she's calling me gold.
And she's getting 50 points for that one. all right. We gotta focus up because we got a lower bracket match. Talking about. We still have to figure out who's going to be going on into the lower finals to face off against FlyQuest Red. And it's going to be YFP going up against Refrag. See who has the opportunity to live another day. And both have gotten to show quite a bit for us throughout this lower bracket. I feel when we're coming into this, YFP was definitely amongst the top conversations here, Bala. I mean, even Effie's was talking about this roster and this team, but Refag, I mean, they've also been able to pop off and show some potential too.
Yeah, I think Effie's giving them credit yesterday. They took a map off of Shopify, right? But the other two, they got dumpstered. So I'm really kind of still trying to figure out exactly where we're at with this team. They did win that Neon, the invitational that they played in, and these two teams have faced off. So like, to me, I really like YFP and how they've been able to build over this year, right? But then on the other side, Refrag as well as a team that is completely fresh, right? Completely fresh this year, and I'm a big fan of what they're building.
I mean, it might be a little bit more of a fresh team, but what they've gotten to show out there has been nothing but. So talking about Refrag first and the squad, we're talking about a team that's a little bit fresh, and they do have a core on this squad. Being able to see Asler, Riv, and Millie be able to come together with then Emluo and Aluvali to really round things out. And those two definitely have. I mean, this whole team across the board's been good, but the impact that Aluvali and Emluo have been able to have for this team throughout the qualifications, Wyatt, speaks volumes.
Yeah, absolutely. And two players that have a bit of a different history that had joined this team, with Aluvali being more of that unknown quantity, has competed in Game Changers on, you know, the random sort of unsigned teams that are a little bit in that tier 2, slightly lower space. And Emluo, a far more experienced player that I think is hitting a new peak on this roster. And it's that duo in tandem, the two new players that they had picked up after going out 5th, 6th in Series 2, have been able to push them past 5th, 6th place, now into the top 4, with serious potential of getting to the top 3. I've been so impressed by this team. I think their victory yesterday against Mesos Millionaires really displayed just how good this team has become and just how great these two new additions have been for them.
Yeah, and want to be pulling out this one tweet that Emluo had after a completely lights out series yesterday. We could not stop talking about Emluo and love this tweet. Why is no one as hyped as my dad when I win? Can I get more attention, please? Well, careful what you ask for, because we're about to give you a bunch of attention, and totally deserved, because Bala, just Emluo coming on into this. I mean, when we're talking about people in GC that really made an impact, name's right there on the list, and someone that frankly does need more attention.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the pedigree that she has, how long she's been playing, I'm surprised that this has kind of been a hidden gem for me, right? Like, we've been watching Emluo for a while, but why is she not part of any of these super teams? I mean, maybe Refrag is going to make me eat my words, but she's been fantastic this event so far.
It's just been, you're sitting there and you're like, wow, surely she can't do it again. And then it's like, bam, all right, another few kills. And this chamber too. I mean, every single time we get to see this Lotus coming out from Refrag, they're doing something else new. They're going into this, they're having fun. They're all about these vibes, and Emluo said, all right, I love the vibes, and she has been showing up. I think it's been so much fun to be watching Wyatt, and that just creates insane upset potential.
The confidence on the chamber yesterday. Like the
good.
swings like that. Yeah, just into the off.
Okay.
And just deletes Bunny B. Was just ruling over Rubble on attack, always fighting Seaside on defense, winning out every first engagement. 2 times has played Lotus in the main event. The first time on Deadlock, drops 29 kills. Second time on Chamber, drops 27 kills. It's out of control. The Sentinel play is just absolutely fantastic. And it's like what you said, Arden. It's like, it makes you think, or like, is this like an upcoming player? Who is this? But it's like, oh wait, no. She's been competing on a bunch of known teams forever, which is what I'm saying. It feels like to me, something has happened where she's just been able to kick things up to a totally different level and has just been a joy to watch.
I mean, it'll be a Travisine upset if she is not on a super team next year. Whether that's a part of this team and they've leveled up or a new team, I don't know. They have the opportunity to be making this run in the lower bracket and show that as a squad, it can be them together, but they have to be taking down YFP. One of the teams coming into this that were hailed as one of the teams that could be making this run and could be going for an upset. And being knocked down to the lower bracket hasn't necessarily slowed their stride. When we're looking at this team ball across the board, it's been really, really fun to watch them come together. There's been a couple of little hiccups, but hey, every team has to go through it at one point, right?
Absolutely. And I think mixing up the roster quite significantly as well throughout the year is good for an up-and-coming team. It gives them new life. And yeah, it's been really nice seeing these players come together. Some of them played together for a while. This team is wacky. I mean, you have multiple players being proficient at Yoru, which is not something that you see quite often, and it makes it hard to play against. It makes it really, really difficult. Both Corrupt and Marceline are 2 players that are unpredictable, and you have to say it. So YFP, I think at this point is a bit of a wild card for me. They've clearly had some success recently at the most recent LAN that GC played with, and yeah, this is looking to be a good deep run. So far, top 4. Let's see if they can make it in the top 3.
Yeah, and yesterday, I mean, we're talking about the wacky stuff they play. We're talking about the duelists, and we have to talk about Marceline, because what she was able to pull off yesterday, you're talking about this confidence on the other side with Emilua and the vibes. Well, right away, YFP set the pace. The amount of kills that Marceline was getting, not just with the op, but even just with the Outlaw down this main stretch here, why it was just so much fun to watch and never really slowed down from there.
YFP are really one of the teams that are made dangerous by that explosive firepower that they have. Just several players that at any point can take over a game, flip around on its head because suddenly they get some crazy 2K, and no doubt Marceline is one of them. That performance yesterday against Oomfies was outrageous. She actually torched them on 2 of the maps, and the third one, Bind, which was close as hell, it was a 13-11 win, dropped 34 kills to get them over the finish line. 34 in regular time. It's just out of control, man.
Yeah, that's just absurd. And I think when you watch these clips, when you think about the performance she had yesterday, it kind of makes sense what happened against Shopify, right? When you have a player who's able to catch fire like Marceline, you can definitely have these moments where you take down a map from Juggernauts. And that makes it difficult for everybody who's not a Juggernaut. And I think Refrag right now, yes, they're good. I don't think they're at that level yet. So this is going to be something that they're going to have to contend with streaky players who can go crazy randomly throughout the match. Marceline's one of them, Corrupt's one of them, a couple of other players, Nora, for example, Scary Shark on this team, who went to GCC last year, right? Now you're talking about them as kind of a vet in the scene. Yeah, you've got some scary players on YFP.
You definitely do, but hey, with how things have been shaking up, you never know how this lower bracket can go ahead. So talking about the series that we have ahead of us and heading over to our map picks and bans for the series, I think this one should be fun, considering that both of these teams that you never really know what to expect when you see the age pools at the maps, it could kind of be anything. And I love that level of just unpredictableness coming on out here, and buying just across the board, Wyatt, is just one of my favorite maps to watch. This is where Ursuline was popping off yesterday and got that 34 kills. So starting off here with Refrag's pick, actually, awesome.
yeah, both teams are really good on this map, so can definitely expect them to really show out. Refrag, they lost it the other day to FlyQuest, but pushed them to the limit, one of FlyQuest's go-to maps. They were very impressive there, and I have really no doubt that they'll continue that high level.
Absolutely. I think as well, Haven's actually a map that we're not seeing as often anymore, and YFP going on here. This one, I think for sure, is one of those maps that'll be super interesting. Abyss, still not quite certain on what all the different teams are playing and experimenting with, but one thing I know for sure, Sarah, is Refrag has been experimenting a lot and shifting things up, so you could definitely get thrown for a loop. YFP is going to have difficulty actually preparing for that level of just randomness in terms of composition that Refrag can throw out.
YFP is not really a stranger to switching things up either, though. After they had a rough ascent going up against Shopify, they swapped it all up for the next day. So heading into the Agent Select for Bind, I love that we get to see the double duelist again from the team. Marceline, yesterday, I mean, you're not expecting the change on the Rays, but how are you thinking about this face-to-face?
I mean, this YFP comp is crazy. They even swapped it up from the last time they played it. They've been playing the Yoru, Rays, Omen, no Viper. But any initiators? Any initiation on this comp?
Initiators in the chat?
There's no
Yeah, like,
initiation.
what, half an initiator with
What?
Yoru, kind of?
With Yoru? Yeah, that's crazy. They've swapped out, so they were playing Gecko, and now they have the Deadlock instead. That is a mad comp that they've brought into this. I mean, you were just talking about the potential for Refrag to mix things up,
And
get some
by the
crazy
way,
comp, and YFP, they're doing the same thing.
Refrag mixed it up too, by the way. This is a comp that they've played in the past, but the other day they played the Cypher on this map, right? They went into something against FlyQuest where they were trying to get the upper hand, and here they're going back to the standard that they used to run. So I'm wondering if YFP expected that and tried to throw something crazy, or if they were 5-head and expected the unexpected. You know, it's difficult to tell.
I know in this that we've talked a lot about Marceline, but Corrupt going to that Deadlock. I mean, also fantastic game on Ascent when they went the other day. So that one I think is just going to be so exciting all around. So we're not going to waste any more time. We want to get right to buy and get started with the first map here in the lowers. With that, head on over to your casters, Baby Bay and Doug.
Maybe Doug?
Thank you so much. I'm so pumped that we get to start off this series, given the stakes with a comp like this. The Desk talked about it. Wyatt very aptly pointed out that there is no initiation to be had on this comp. Dre, what are your thoughts on this? How do they find space on attack?
Must be a glitch, but I think the whole point of this comp is they are starting on the defensive side. They want to just start off strong, and Corrupt started off very, very hot the last time around on that Deadlock, but it was Ascent, keep in mind, obviously. But I mean, I don't know, like YFP runs some of the craziest comps when they don't even need to, you know? On paper, again, the better team usually is supposed to play something that they're more comfortable with, something more consistent, but they just keep throwing these daggers out of nowhere. And let's see if they can make it work this time around against RF.
And I have to figure something out. You mentioned RF. They are on the attacking side of things. Refrag very quickly accelerating as they try to get up through B. Scary Shark is the first to fall already.
Great entry, but a great answer back from Elaborate. It's going to be all up to Marceline and Melia on site. That Sheriff goes down very quickly.
This cross is going to be tough. Melia has to try to stay alive, and if they can keep that and keep hookah control, there may be a shot at this, but backslight falling. A little bit of space found out of Octagon, and that's a great round from Refrag. They were very decisive from the very beginning.
Yeah, it was a complete brawl towards the B side, but the decider was that initiator utility, right, Doug? The Gecko flash right at the end there, securing the last two final kills for Riv to get even closer towards a thrash of her own. So a great start for RF on this attack side of Bind, dealing with that, you know, double Senti comp very well.
You see the buy, nothing really on the side of YFP. Meanwhile, Refrag a couple Bulldogs and then 3 Spectres around it. And it seems like they're going to try to go back to what worked in the previous round, and I get it. I mean, why not? Corrupt was able to get the orb. See how much longer they're able to stay alive. But again, it's just so fast. The paranoia is drawn out. Corrupt on the swing. Riv gets another.
It was a great idea for a setup, but unfortunately the firepower just wasn't there to support it.
Yeah.
And you only have classics to work with. Sometimes you can get lucky, but not this time around.
No, and especially not when there are that many on the other side. I mean, it's not just like Yeah, and it's not just like one gun that you were having to face against, right?
Spectre with the stimmy. That's oftentimes when it's the most deadly. I feel like just normally it's been a gun that a lot of players in general have kind of veered away from. Used to be a lot more broken than what it is, but I mean, when you have a stim like that to just give you full speed boost, you could really unload that entire mag into no armor.
And so YFP will try to die to the spike. And it seems like they're going to succeed in doing so as RF starts to take a slow step back. Whoop. Kazler takes a little bit of damage, but yeah, they all get out. So you start to think about the next round and kind of how things will carry over. Every single weapon kept on the side of Refrag.
Yeah, every single weapon kept, but that Thrash is now going to have to be taken either B long or in showers. So a really good heads up play from YFP to not drop there. And maybe, you know, if I'm RF in that moment, maybe I just send Riv, you know, flying in, trying to secure as many exits as I can. You know, keep in mind, it's only one Spectre. You have a million other ones in play. I say a million. It's a big exaggeration. You have 3 Spectres on the board.
Oh, really? I thought there were actually a million. I appreciate you clarifying. Yeah. Riv 4-0. You're right. One away from the Thrash. I think a little bit of aggression there would have been nice. Again, Corrupt gets in, gets the orb, gets out. And it seems like we've seen this round before. The difference is here, though, Dre, the trip that just got cleared out. There was a little bit more defense behind it.
Yeah, it's cool. You're already seeing fast adaptations. And honestly, what it picked from Elaborate onto the spam on the B long. But you saw what RF was, or what YFP was going for this round. Complete orb denial on both sides. And it's so smart because you don't let that Thrash get online. And now, you know, bonus round in a game like Valorant at the current state of the game, it's so important for the attacking side to be able to snowball and just basically make it so the defense has no economy.
That wall's going to buy a little bit of time outside of Octagon. Corrupt still playing close by with Elaborate, not far off. The thing is now it's not just waiting on the wall. 2 of the sensors have just gone up as well, and there's a smoke that they're going to have to deal with.
Sight cages as well. You're going to have the deadlock nade coming through for all those players under hookah.
30 seconds
all these protocols are going to be in full effect shortly.
One satchel out. Again, attempting to clear out some of that utility, but Millie's not able to find any safe passage out. They managed. Go on.
Yeah, Amluo's going to just get a crazy entry on the site, just running it down.
The interesting thing here, though, is that YFP was able to keep, I mean, for the members, yeah, they lost to Elaborate, but Corrupt staying alive there so that they can fight on this retake. Very well could be the difference maker, but YFP, again, stalling out a little bit here. Seeming like they want to go for a split approach. A little bit of pressure out from Elbow, a little bit back from Spawn, but Emluo continues to be a problem. You wanted more attention. This time, Melly had all attention Emluo's way. The Thrash out, a little bit more found, and it's all going to fall into a 1v2 as the spike ticks away. That's 1 kill found, but Corrupt on the trade and the defuse. YFP are on the board.
Aluvali had no chance in that moment to actually even peek out. Corrupt with the perfect wall bang. It doesn't get better than that on the retake, but you're right. It was Corrupt who at the start of the round was throwing supporting utility, all for Elaborate to just pop off in the middle of sight. And it worked so well. This little dynamic duo that they had with the double Senti. Look at that. Okay, this is the little pop shot through the smoke, but there were so many protocols here. Cage on the left, trips for the main, grab net to hit anybody under hookah. Emluo ended up slipping through the net, but still just wasn't enough. And that's the power of denying those orbs, and that's a Thrash gone on a bonus, and it wasn't converted at all. So YFP are really in this.
Plenty of work to go, and this feels like the first time from the attack that we're seeing a different look. I mean, you think about the first 3 rounds, it was a whole lot of pace towards B-Long, but this time it changed, Dre.
Very pacey. Very pacey. And I think now when you're running double Senti, look, understood the blueprint of success against it. You want to find out where all the trips are, all the utility is from the double Senti. See what the setup is, fish it out, and then make your play in the mid round. That's why you saw that Showers deadlock wall already be broken very early on.
Wow, the spam through is crazy.
Maybe just a hard read from Scrims or VOD review or something. Just understanding that that's a play that Barcelona likes to make.
And for as much as things change, they stay the same. It's the same rollout from Millie. It's the same hit towards B from Refrag. Deadlock ult was used. I don't think it connected onto anyone. Meanwhile, they're still... Oh, sorry. It did just tag. It did just connect. Spam through, though. Able to stay alive. Mluo getting the best of Scary Shark. Again, off the swing. The smoke goes down. A little bit more to be found, but it's Corrupt who ends out on top. Millie on the swing back sight. Not able to connect. YFP tie us up.
Now we're seeing the power of Corrupt on the deadlock. It might not even be, you know, the fact that they want an initiator, just comfortability. Maybe this is the comfortability that I was speaking of. We saw how well Corrupt performed yesterday. Just absolutely, dropping a 30 on Ascent. And already now playing very, very smart in these moments. Just tucking in the smoke right here. Winning the head-to-head against Emluo, had a great late flank around that hookah area. And the pressure of just surviving alone that Corrupt is putting on RF, it's been paying out dividends for YFP.
Arceline with the Outlaw. Again, a menace yesterday. Back up to their old ways. Scary Shark has one too.
It's the double Outlaw just locking down all of A. And the quick Yoru TP into heaven as well. With the fast rotate in. So even Scary Shark feels overwhelmed here, which she does not.
Nope, not with an Outlaw like that.
It's all good. Everything up to
Right.
Kazler. I mean, what really can she do?
Nothing here. And so I think, Dre, I wonder if we end out, I don't know, if maybe we go back to some of what RF was doing at the beginning of this half. All of the success they were finding towards this pacey hit B, or what the difference here is. Because, I mean, beyond the first couple of rounds, YFP, excuse me, have had firm control.
Yeah, the A fights have definitely not been going the way of RF at all. And I think it was cool, like a cool concept of kind of running it down the first couple of rounds, making the defenses have to put trips a little bit more forward to have to deal with that type of gameplay. But not converting that bonus round, the bonus round, Doug, that was where kind of things took a tide in the way of YFP, because that Thrash was invested again. That's such a snowbally ultimate that gets online so quickly. And if you're not able to convert with it, it's tough.
And it's back up online right now. We'll see if they're able to find some of that success. But Riv's already tagged down. Literally catching strays. This time a little bit of aggression. Nice trade. Emlo was in a spot to get both. He tried to satchel out, but all for the paranoia. They had no idea what hit him.
That was insane, Doug. And that was the same set play they tried to do on the anti-eco. It's Corrupt to get 4 into the round, getting another Deadlock ultimate online. But yeah, this time with the firepower behind it, the Vandals, that paranoia and Gravnet, it was just a masterclass in V long.
Yeah, it helps when you've got guns, huh?
Yeah, it does. I mean, a classic can hit, but you know, it just doesn't sometimes. And the Vandal, that spray down is so satisfying as a player. Oh my goodness.
YFP up 2 here. Still a couple of bolts to work with for Refrag. But YFP now have a couple of their own, including the Yoru ult. And it seems like there's a setup for it. Maybe off of a flash or something like that, but they want to go ahead and accelerate this. Forget about the ult. It was just a TP out.
Insane. Wow. Even though that TP was a little bit too early, Riv still will fall.
No shot. Mluo gets one as a fadeaway. They tried crunching in through showers, and now Corrupt's able to go ahead and clean this kill up and just move on.
Ward gathered as well, and look at the set of trips here to help out Elaborate on site.
Luvely getting tagged by the first. Millie with the Guardian. No satchels to get out onto the site. And the cam to deal with. Luvely gets caught out. Leaving all in the hands of Millie. A nice shot out from Elaborate. YFP full steam ahead.
Such poise, such finesse from Elaborate on the site. Just having complete info with the double trip in the cam. I mean, she really peaked those angles perfectly. Near perfect. You can't get better than that. It was so precise. And this aggression in B long, shower, short A. It's so overwhelming to play against if you're RF. Even if you're doing a default, you're running into 2 players on either side. It's a really unique playstyle that YFP is showcasing right now. You know, especially since they're only running a single controller composition, but they're making it work.
And honestly, when I saw the Yoru up by the gate, I thought it was just going to be use of an ult to get info.
Right?
But lo and behold, they wanted something way more valuable.
Just complete disruption.
That is the name of the game for Yoru. You see the buy for refrag here. It's borderline non-existent. Elaborate's already gotten the opener.
There's so many layers to the setups. I mean, cam, off the trip, the swing. It's just so many things to give your self-confidence on the defensive side. And with this start that Elaborate has had, oh my gosh, Doug. I feel like RF, they need a miracle right now to get back into this.
The miracle might be Emlo. She's still shooting, man.
Yeah, it's a nice upgrade as well with that Phantom.
But look at the position for Marceline. Yeah. With ult in hand, too, in case you want to get really invested on it. They finally found the op. That's been in play for the entire round. And there's... Uh-oh. That's tough. That's really tough.
And still... yeah.
That gets us into a 2v2. The pit invested as well.
Yeah, and you still have Brimalt to play with as well if you want.
Yeah.
And Luvely not going for any upgrades. Right here. Might work against her, though.
Keep an eye on Elaborate. Trying to flank around and completely clear out the area around the pit. We talked about how good Elaborate has been this map. And the need to make something happen again off the face check. Luvely falls, leaving things in a 1v2. Emluo still around the pit. Has been exceptional, and she's going to do it again! The 4K and the Red Bull clutch for refrag.
And this may be exactly what RF need to get back into things. Emluo, who has been playing out of her mind this entire tournament, has really stepped it up. The analyst desk was hitting on it. Just secures this 4K clutch. And you can't forget about that 90 degree or 180, whatever you want to call it, from Luvely, who honestly has been a great anchor on this map. Yeah, we're on the attacking side, but a lot of the success of RF on this map has been off of the back of Luvely anchoring and Emluo having perfect lurk timings.
Yeah. I mean, Luvely opens up that round. If not for that kill, Marceline probably gets 2. And then we're not even in that position to begin with. Whoa. Scary Shark, a narrow miss. Buzzing the tower, but not connecting. Now Corrupt with the op. Spam down as well. That's another for Riv. Yeah, you mentioned it in the previous round. That might have been the spark.
It's just so crazy how momentum has such an impact on this game of Valorant. And it showcases in every single league, even in ranked play. It's a big 1v1 to win if you're Marceline. Now the lurk doesn't have to be worried about whatsoever.
That snap was almost really clean. Melia TPing away. So they've given up the site, but again, 2 big ults to play with. It's just a tap of the plant. They don't want to fully commit onto this. Interesting. On the second approach, Melia getting all the info. Both spotted. There's the rocket popped. Oh, but it never goes off. And now Melia's left in a brutal situation. Outgunned and dead.
What is that from a Luvely? Just has Marceline's number completely. 2 rounds back to back. This time it's the showstopper invested, plucking her out of the air. Oh my goodness. The mechanical skill right now that is showing. It's ridiculous. And how many 2v2s have we seen this entire half so far, Doug? I feel like it's been like, what, at least like 7 rounds of 2v2s. That's what it's come down to.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
From the pistol even. Just from the start of the game, it's came down to this crazy brawl and trade. We're within 1, just like that. RF slowly climbing their way back up.
You know, it feels a lot like yesterday where you think a team has finally gotten control of the situation. They're going to run away with it. And then
just have a playmaker on your team that just brings it back into your favor.
It's just unbelievable. This time a slower approach here from Refrag.
Yeah. Cool setup. Just waiting out Yoru teleport that can go into heaven. So there can be 3 members here.
They committed the TP. The ult has been used to satchel out Billy, not getting enough clearance. Meanwhile, Emlo pushing forward. Another kill found on a Scary Shark. I think Scary Shark was mid-TP.
Yeah, a little bit of pop shots as well from Kazler, taking out Melia in U-Haul. That's the spike planted for free. All of a sudden, you're in a 2v4, and Elaborate has a stinger. Trying to get an upgrade. There it is.
Succeeding, but do you go for it in a situation like this? It falls down to a 1v1. Given the money that they had, I thought they might try to save, but Elaborate's sliver of health might be the decider in this round. That was insane.
Yeah, it is such a crazy slow pace to the round when they've honestly been showing a lot of aggression. They kept 3 players towards B that entire time. And then that speed up onto short after Emluo gets the 2 picks and showers. Too clean. Emluo is so good at these 1v1 engagements.
Surely we get a look at some of that again. Oh, or we get a timeout.
Oh gosh, is it a
hopefully
is it a
it's one of the good
timeout?
ones.
I hope it's a timeout. No, it's our worst enemy, is what it is, Doug.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
happening.
we'll have a moment to think things over and to kind of discuss how this half has played out, because as we were talking about earlier, Dre, it really does feel like YFP was in control. They were going to run away with it. Refrag somehow roar their way back into the game to make it a fight, and an even one at that. And I think this half has just been, obviously the score suggests it, but the way that this map has gone, the half has gone, excuse me, has been really competitive.
In the first part of the half, you saw YFP winning a lot of the first engagements, getting a lot of the first bloods, and then being able to fall back and play off of a double senti utility where Corrupt would just bunker up in U-Haul or play alive and wait for the retake to come through at the B site in general. And now we're seeing Emluo stepping up huge, as well as Aluvali, to just get these first engagements, take these lurk fights. They understand that the defensive side right now for YFP has been one of 2 things. Okay, you're either gonna fight showers and be long, or there's gonna be hookah short. That's how it has gone so far for the defensive side of YFP. And I think that RF have read into that, and that's why you're seeing a little bit more slow approach and just letting Emluo basically take her time, clear out angles methodically, and just win the 1v1 duels.
Back into the action we go. It seemed like there was a little PC lag issue, but it's been rebooted and hopefully resolved as we resume into the 11th round. And again, a little bit faster back towards B. Back to the tried and true. Interesting. The paranoia was just used by Scary Shark to try to crunch into sand, but there was nobody there.
And right now for RF, I'm reading into that. I'm understanding that this is probably a B stack. No reason not to rip the TP, but you have to re-clear all that space because everybody started on this B side of the map. That's why you see Emluo already worried about it.
There's a wall on the other side too, so even if they did try getting through a TP, they'd have to spam the wall down and then obviously turn their attention back towards A, where Corrupt is waiting with Sheriff in hand.
And there's really nothing wrong about playing this type of way on the attacking side, especially against the deadlock. And an understanding that Corrupt has been using that wall really early on. So they're basically just playing the timer. I mean, same thing with the Yoru. You kind of want to wait for that TP timer to go away. A lot of players put it down so early in the round. But if you're able to default, wait till about 40-50 mark, it's probably not going to be up for the rotate. Perfect call right now from RF.
Yeah, Corrupt's got a lot on their hands. His first couple of shots of the Sheriff, again, not connecting. And unfortunately giving away the element of surprise. Reinforcements at the ready, starting to rotate over to the site. And there is a Vandal in the hands of Elaborate, who will be the last to join the fray. And yes, that's a powerful weapon, but where does the rest of the firepower come from? There's got to be a little bit more magic. Something else has to connect on the other side. It very well might be the Stinger and the Sheriffs. As a couple of kills have been found, they've been traded out. And again, Elaborate still with the Vandal, but now you've got to deal with the Thrash. And I believe it whiffed. I don't think it connected. It spammed it through, so it's just going to be the tap onto the spike. Elaborate with the Vandal, choosing to try to take the fight. Melly's already gotten it to half. There's all of the mollies coming through. The insurance policy was there. Refrag, get to 6.
I mean, considering the way that things were going and the firepower behind YFP into that round, baiting out that Thrash was really good. They brought it down to a 3v3 with just Sheriffs and a Stinger. So baiting out that Thrash, not having to deal with that into this round, only having to deal with that Fatal, it's going to give you a big peace of mind going into this last round to try to tie things up on the defensive side.
Again, you see it on the timeline 4 rounds in a row for Refrag. Roaring back into this and attack side op. We haven't seen that very often. That smoke is danger, but the shot is clean.
What a rollout from Millie. outplaying that one-way completely. Getting on top of the ledge right there on B long so nobody can see your feet underneath the one-way. What a heads-up play.
I love that too. Off of the swing, you saw the room, but got the tag from the clone. Ultimately not able to punish behind that. Elaborate, getting tagged down and now dead. Meanwhile, the rotate's going to come through, but you've got to be careful. They've lost all Shower's control. And they're having to wait on the other side. They hear all of it. But Corrupt gets spammed, gets caught. Tried using the ult. Are you expecting Marceline in this position? Remember, Dre, a few rounds ago, this exact same play, and Marceline whiffed it. It was bad. Can they connect this time around? Too many targets found. One connecting, the second falls. Aluvali is so tagged up. Marceline on the swing, make that 3.
A nasty flank from Marceline, and what patience. I mean, not jumping the gun whatsoever, waiting to the very last second. And the enemy is actually turning around, looking her dead in the eyes. But still, the confidence and control to tuck in that cubby. That was a great entry from Millie that I was speaking about. Double flank, proactivity outside of hookah. That's why this double duelist comp is so annoying to play against. You expect it, yeah, but you don't expect the second this late into the round. And
no,
it's a straight up tied half. This is so competitive.
And again, to go back very quickly to what you're talking about and not expecting a second, Marceline's positioning there was super nice, right? Once Corrupt gets caught, Marceline not immediately swinging, just kind of letting it go. It was just, perfectly played.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, we're tied at 6 apiece. YFP now on the attacking side with their double duelist, no initiator, but they do have a flash kind of comp. We need to come up with a better name for that.
Double duelist, really, double senti.
Didn't
double
really roll
comp
off the tongue. Yeah, I guess. Emuo, careful in the smoke, still somehow getting away with one, but the right click. Messer. Nice shots out from Red, shooting the clone, really no choice. And the Dizzy over the top. That's very well handled, but Scary Shark, a great response. Traded right back, though. Now you're left alone, a 1v3. Spike out of reach. They're going to try to funnel out of the smoke. Not able to settle the shots. Overwhelmed. Aluvali gets the last. RF take the lead.
It was a great rotation by Millie, and the nade was right on par. The nade lineup right under hookah, just getting a freebie, basically. And, you know, YFP approached that pistol round as they should. You don't really have an initiator to get you info. You want to contact in. Going 1-for-1 against Emluo in that smoke is really good for you. Like, that was a great start. But there's just not enough follow-up at that point. The Satchels couldn't make it out in the site. Yoru couldn't make it out on the site either. It's going to be very difficult breaking through the defense of RF.
Molly to buy a little bit of time. That should slow things down a considerable amount. And then the tap of the orb. Funneling into the hands of Melia. Interesting.
Trying to closer towards that Yoru ultimate. We saw so many cool split plays happening from the side of YFP yesterday.
Oh, I like that. Using the clone to go through the TP.
Yeah. And you go through yourself, but your TP is actually towards B, so it keeps the player at A at all times. Very cool stuff.
Smoke back towards elbow, the paranoia out. Meanwhile, the fight taking place in hookah. That's a big one. That was where the spike was supposed to go. But again, a flawless round the way of refrag.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You know, it was cool, don't get me wrong, but it was all for naught. It looked pretty easy for RF to deal with that Emluo, just holding down that hookah. And right now, for the side of YFP, haven't really been able to get much going. The rounds haven't really been too competitive on this attacking side. Kind of understand that, you know, it's been the Viper defaulting towards B for the most part, and Raze has been playing the rotate from the A site. So maybe you could try to bait out a rotate towards B and end up going back towards A. Endless possibilities right now for the side of YFP.
Over there.
Is there a nade combo here? A net nade of some sort? They're both here. What's the plan?
Spot. So this nade, I mean, if you keep jump spotting this angle, Millie needs to be careful, but a little bit of intuition. Millie gets a nice little chunk of damage done on the Melia.
Keep an eye on this. They still have utility at the ready.
That nade hits both corners, I'm pretty sure. I think it's going to hit the jump spot angle and also the cubby, so this is going to be difficult for RF. Doesn't hit the cubby.
Awesome. It doesn't hit either. And now the paranoid. They don't know that. Yeah, they don't know that Aluvali was there.
Spike
But
down
Marceline
A.
saves the round. At least for now.
Elaborate gets
Kalster.
dropped here. That opens up the flank, Doug.
That's going to be enormous. Kalster was able to clean one up, make that two.
Down A.
Really nice tracking. Now the spike out of reach against Scary Shark, left in a 1v3. Feeling pressure from every single angle. RF are running away with this, and it's not what we expected.
Had the bonus round going the way of RF this time and not having to invest any ultimates, but it was the utility that was on point and understanding the limitations of that gravnet. That gravnet is so massive, Doug. But to have the heads up intuition of knowing where you can like play in these type of moments, that's the difference maker here. And yeah, this tracking, you said the words out of my mouth. I was literally thinking it as you said it. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that's so hard to do.
Yeah, Ray's
It's so
jumping at
insanely
you,
hard to do.
You have a ghost.
And it like
How's
up
that happening in the
close
first
too.
place?
Uh-oh. That was not the intended destination there. But they still take Shower's control. They still get the orb. Melia 2 away from the Yoru.
Look at this B pressure. And it's all off the back of Emluo, who basically got all that free real estate in the last round.
Footsteps. Footsteps. They were not quite about their rotates. And now, again, surrounded. But again, no real weaponry on the other side. Even having the target selection there, not shooting the clone. Finding the right Yoru. Very well done.
You want to talk about proactivity, you think of double duelist, but right now, RF are basically playing like they have a double duelist. Emluo is so confident. I have to say this again. She's so confident in the 1v1 engagements. She's willing to take the peek out of hookah. She's willing to walk down B long, whatever it might be on both sides. And this is why they're catching YFP off guard. YFP are getting a taste of their own medicine, and they're not used to it, Doug. That's why you see the timeout.
Yeah, late one called here as RF are just a couple of rounds away from taking map 1. What's the situation here for YFP? The money is not great. They kind of have to win here.
Yeah.
And you have a couple of ults that are coming up. I wonder if there's a plan around getting Marceline's ult or maybe Melia's ult to get info. And then I think there are 2 ways you can go about this. And both of them, honestly, are entirely different.
I just feel like for YFP, the problem is the way that RF is approaching these defensive sides, a little seesaw, so to speak. You know, whenever there's shower controls, you've seen Emluo 2 rounds in a row walk down B, this time having Riv to back her up. But if you play a slow default with this composition that you have, you're going to run into this rechargeable utility that refrag has. And now all of a sudden you're running through a Viper wall or like, you know, the never-ending delay of Brim smokes on default at A site, followed by, you know, Gecko Molly, Tether, Raise Nade, Satchels even to delay the plant.
Everything.
You're kind of damned with this comp. It kind of sucks not having that initiator to secure info, and, you know, at least with the Gecko that they ran previously, you could pick up the flash when you used it. You could pick up all this extra set of utility to have for that next hit. You're kind of forced to play off the first layer or YFP and not want to use any of your utility early on.
Interesting opening for YFP here. 3 pings up the minimap towards B long. And Corrupt started to walk up, but then they rotated back. Meanwhile, they've left Marceline back towards A short by themselves.
Yeah, look at how far up Aluvali is in this cubby. It's the first time she's played the spot. If YFP aren't careful, they don't do their due diligence and check their corner, she could really turn up to go huge.
Oh, remember what Aluvali did back in Showers just a couple of rounds ago with the Bucky.
Doug, look at this. Long, walking all the way down. Walking down short.
Yeah, full aggression. What a great response here from YFP. And because they're able to alleviate a lot of the pressure, now they have a little bit of space to play around. A deep smoke back out towards B spawn. They've got the site all for themselves.
It's all up to Millie and Kazler in this 2v3, but the post plant, it's going to be so hard to deal with. Kazler trying to get ahead, but yeah, elaborate. Just holding the angle. It was easy pickups. And for Millie right now, just try to build towards that ultimate.
That's such a good smoke too, because it's not just like blocking out the push out onto site from spawn, right? It's a little bit deeper. So if somebody wants to hold that angle, that smoke from elbow, they can. If they want to hold it from mid site, they can, like what we just saw. It's a minor adjustment on that smoke, and it pays off really well.
And it kind of baits you as well on the retake.
Yep.
It kind of makes you think, oh, maybe I can work with something here. And that's why you saw, that play being made. But now we're seeing the aggression start to get a little bit punished. I think that the B anchors, I believe it was Mluo and Riv, getting a little too ahead of themselves there, especially with the heavy lifting that Aluvali did in A short.
Refrag still with plenty of money though. And again, it's foreboding. You take a look at the HUD right now. 3 members, 1 pip away from having their ults online.
On the flip side, YFP, they have 4 ultimates of their own to work with. Obviously, for that Cypher ult, you're going to have to try to get a pick somewhere. That's what this comp is made for. And if you look on the opposite side of the map, Aberrate is working up showers all alone, getting all that space.
What do they do around it though? The spike not even in hand right now, as they're trying to feel out what the defense is throwing their way.
Whoa, not taking the bait on that Yoru clone.
Wisely. Patience on it. Oh, that jump spot was so wide.
Scary stuff, Doug. Scary stuff. But with all that showers control taken and B long control taken in Octagon, you kind of are able to pick and choose where you want to end. You can really manipulate the defensive side. They're not going to the right side unless they rip that TP.
And they very well may. You mentioned it earlier. Elaborate has a lot of space in towards showers. A pop of the ult. Corrupt is dead. Maybe they can scoop up the spike, but it seems like they've lost full control of the situation. They're going to grab the spike. They are going to TP out. But the problem is, Millie's still here. And if Millie plays their cards just right, they're going to secure the round. A TP away. Elaborate on the prowl. Millie now dead.
What was that?
Tazler with 3. Ridiculous so far. And now the Nightfall invested, traded with Paranoia, buy a little bit of time as the reposition comes through. What in the world do they do here?
You have the Yoru ultimate, but what value does it really give you?
remaining.
I guess you can get the info. I mean, now you're not going to use it for sure.
No.
Battle of the controllers going the way of Aluvali.
Oh, this is messy! Oh, that's so messy! Melia gets 4 in the Red Bull clutch for YFP!
I'll return.
Forget the Yoru ult, Doug. All you need is to hit your shots. And Melia, she played her time perfectly. Kazler, I thought they saw a shoulder, an inkling of where Melia was. But just being tucked into Cubby, nobody aware. And that one definitely slipped away from RF. A very tough round to lose there.
I mean, a 1v3? When the
insane.
3v2 seemed secure as it was?
It's insane.
This is interesting. A deep smoke and a thrash out again. Pace towards A short and through B as well. They have fully controlled the middle of the map. Melia has nowhere to go. That's a tragic way to die, by the way.
Yeah, even if you reach the corner there, the Brimstone ultimate will still kill you, but Elaborate evens the score here. Scary Shark trying to get another of her own, but
and Kazler was in a brutal spot. Fully surrounded.
these engagements are so awkward. Marcelin's already out under Luka.
What a mess. This feels like the first time that we really saw YFP punish a lot of this mid aggression. And I think it was handled exceptionally well. They weren't really interested in fighting that mid aggression. They just decided to give up the mid space, go into the extremities, and then rewrap them when they knew that they were going to have to rotate back across the middle of the map to get towards the site.
Everything you just said was so on par, but it just sounds so crazy if you didn't watch the round happen. Like,
Yeah.
like how
That makes
how
no sense.
Yeah, how is this comp with double controller, double initiator, the standard comp, all the way basically in market and T-spot, and the double duelist comp is flipping sites, but it's all because of Elaborate, honestly, getting these awesome timings on the work. He's finding immense value in Marceline to have the heads-up intuition of, you know, taking all that B long control off of what had just happened. It's all just this crazy, chaotic gameplay that we're seeing. And for the side of Refrag on this timeout, you gotta think maybe just play a little bit more standard. You had so much success in the round prior of just anchoring the sites, letting YFP take a lot of the map control, but YFP, they have to methodically take their time on that map control. So the hits come down with around 40 seconds left. Maybe use some of that aggression for a re-clear instead of on the first 10 seconds of the round if you're RF.
Again, the momentum has swung back for as often as we talk about it. I mean, you see why. You see why it's such a regular topic in these games is because things can turn at such an instant.
Yeah. That's been the story so far in a lot of these GC games that we've seen. The swing of momentum, the shift of control. Just goes back and forth based off of heroic plays. This time around, Melia with that 4K.
I'll find you.
Who's next?
Bit of
Here's
a
a-
light buy for the side of RF, Doug.
Yeah, here's the first time we see Melia use that ult too. If I'm not mistaken, and this time it is fully exploratory. Clears out a little bit of space, pops out, and then TP's back.
The bombardment of utility in backside.
Yeah.
And Illuvely is stuck here.
Oh, it's a jump scare! Scary Shark just flies into Illuvely's face.
Right now for RF, you have to save this. Maybe Riv can go down, only a Bulldog.
Shadows traveling.
But you have no chance coming back into this. A 2v5?
No.
But if you look
No.
on the minimap, Melia's already on the hunt. Already all the way in T-spawn, working their way up B-long. These players are going to get pinched.
They have fully lost control of the situation right now.
Seriously.
Again, we talked about it in the first half, and it was Emluo who delivered, if I'm not mistaken, but they needed something. They needed a play, right? Somebody needed to make a play, and we're in that position again, where somebody needs to make a play on the side of Refrag to bring this back their way, because all momentum has been lost.
Yeah, but the problem is, how do you do that? Because now YFP, they've been defaulting. They've been holding for the aggression. It's kind of a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You kind of feel like you're forced to have to make that play, like you're stating, to bring things back into your favor and turn the tide. If you get punished in doing so, you're going to do the complete opposite. And yeah, that little dunk from Scary Shark, the wrap onto U-Haul. I mean, I feel bad for Illuvely. She couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Deadlock wall. It's so weird. Not really used to playing against that on a map like Vine. Maybe this Viper ultimate can be the answer. Denying B long control.
If nothing else, it'll buy some time. Millie's ult is here too. I like this, using the cam to clear out truck, then the swing out to get the tight angle on hookah. This is
Methodical.
yeah.
Super smart play. Understanding that you have no initiator, you have to make ends meet somehow. Contacting is the name of the game. A lot of pings down B long right now.
This angle that Millie's in, might be the one that goes unchecked. Oh, a little bit of a whiff on the first, but Illuvely over the second. Elaborate down. And maybe this was the response. I mean, it wasn't flashy. It wasn't a big multi-kill or anything like that, but they've stabilized on the round.
It's crazy that something as simple as just B long control against the way that YFP has been playing is what turns the tide and what nets you a round win. Something as small
30
as that,
seconds
just
left.
denying that one portion of space. RF should be back in the lead after this round. Scary Shark just hoping to save this Vandal. And if you look at the economy right now for YFP, you have Marceline sitting at 1,600, Corrupt at $650.
10 seconds
Starting
left.
to get beat down slowly. Still should have a full buy going into the next, but anything after that, it's going to be scrappy, especially if you don't win flawlessly.
I actually want to draw attention to the economy on the other side, because again, for Refrag, for as rough as things had been, the fact that they were able to get through that round with only having to rebuy, they'll probably buy armor on 2 members.
Yeah.
I mean, they had nothing. And so even if they walk away with a round win, but it's messy, it's ugly, they have to rebuy a lot, they're not in a great spot.
100%. And we got the classic. Of course. But it really does come down to this round, Doug, in terms of the economy game. You're 100% correct about that. Whoever wins this is essentially going to break the economy of the enemy team.
As soon as we figure out what the situation is with the tech pause, we will let you all know, and we'll get back into the action. There's really no telling. I mean, Bala could have kicked a cable. Sean could have said a terrible joke that was so bad that it really just destroyed the entire broadcast. Or now I'm being told there was a player that was disconnected. So they'll rejoin. They'll figure it out. We'll get back into the action here very shortly. It was a quick fix last time. So hopefully we'll be able to do a bit of the same. But again, if you are just joining us, welcome. You've missed a banger. Refrag fighting their way back into getting this lead in these closing rounds of Bind, this opener in the best of 3 with elimination on the line.
It's been back and forth by far, and it really felt like YFP had a really good read on how RF were playing this defensive side. But with the buffer that RF were able to accumulate by winning the pistol, winning that bonus round, it really put themselves in a good spot to be able to make a change of their own, an adaptation of their own. I wonder now, going into this gun round, when you don't have, that Viper's pit, are you still going to try to fight for that B long? I think it's something they should, test the waters with, because clearly denying that space, YFP didn't know what to do about it.
Still have the rocket in the hands of Millie. A heavy focus towards B. A TP forward. The Han already cleared out, so a little bit of pressure being applied towards Showers. Meanwhile, they want to fully split in. They've invested the paranoia. They've already tried to satchel out and TP through. Kills traded 1 for 1, but the defense so far holding up strong.
You still have Lupley in that U-Haul. Hasler not taking the bait on the clone either, but gets spotted nevertheless. That double swing from Melia, it was too clean.
Lupley settled, traded right back though. Falling down to a 2v2, a tap of the spike, still not committed onto the plant. Plenty of time here, though. Behind the safety of the wall. Now a little bit of high ground being found by Riv. The smoke goes through and should give a little bit of cover for Corrupt. Riv not comfortable to drop out here from heaven out onto the site. No real idea of where the other 2 members could be. What's the play here?
His plan for Showers. Corrupt needs to be careful here. This is such an awkward spot to play. The shoulder was seen, but the spam is not connecting.
Finally landing onto a traded right back. Here Shark left in a 1v1 and Mluo again. Unbelievable for right refrag one more time.
Team Ace.
And you just can't stop Mluo in these 1v1 positions. She's too good. She's too confident in them. All game long, all map long, she's been like this. Absolutely stone cold in the clutch.
One enemy remaining.
Scary Shark. Tried her best. It was a really cool, unique post plant, but that spot that Corrupt was stuck in, not getting out with that Omen smoke.
Yeah.
Ended up just being so good for RF in that retake.
And that's such a 50-50 because the smoke would suggest that if there was someone there, they would be getting out, right? So it becomes a mind game. This time, a different approach to deal with the haunt. Never mind, a little bit of pace step towards B. The rocket has already been popped. The second satchel. Again, rough on the exit, rough on the entry. Scary Shark's already down, and Mluo with 2. Refrag looking to put the finishing touches on this as it all falls on to elaborate late to the party without a gift in hand. The spike sitting on the other side. There was a spark, and it wasn't flashy. It was that round where they used the ult back towards B-Long, and that really kind of swung things back their way.
It's so insane.
Mluo.
Yeah, everything's up to elaborate.
Yeah, elaborate, excuse me. Left in this 1v3 with 50 HP. Again, they know exactly where the spike is on the other side, so they don't even really need to take the fight. They can just sit on the spike and force the fight to go to them.
Up, down. I mean, Elaborate does have 2 cages to try to make something work here.
My brother.
But it's going to be
30 seconds left.
the toughest ass of all time. Oh, she ends up getting one, but Millie with the trade and RF. They close out this map of Bind. Wow, Doug.
And to be honest, Stray, I think again, it felt like there was a window there where they weren't going to be able to pull it back in. It felt like all momentum was the way of YFP. They were able to stifle all this, and it felt like the team that we expected in this matchup, where it looked like they were going to run away with it, but all it takes is one round. And that's what's going to take us to map 2 with Refrag on a 1-0 series lead. We'll be right back.